All right, here we go. Another day. This is going to be an interesting video. The guys are here right on time. They said Wednesday, and they're here. We got 3 guys. Looks like they brought all their material. We've already went into our electrical panel and upgraded to 30 amp. So the 30 amp breaker is in. So now the guys are starting to work on digging under the track. So one guy's working on the motor itself. So there you go. Have their welder. There's electrical. They did the ever famous chipping out the concrete, and then we'll come back in, fill it in. But they need to run the wire under this track. Now look how dirty this track is. So the plan, and plans never seem to work out. I wanted to get all this cleaned up and painted black before the guys got here, but there's a reason why it didn't get done, and I'm gonna keep you guys in suspense as to why. But they're going underneath. We're gonna build up a pad for the actual device. We're gonna go up 4 inches because when it rains hard, we do get rain here, and of course it's about a 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch. I mean, you know, the rain does come through, but only like that as it runs through. And then if we get a lot of rain here, I was able to get in here yesterday and weed whack away. And I think we're getting ready to order some more, or go get some more fruit trees and fill this area in with fruit trees and just get it over with. No more garden, even though it's filling in nice pretty quick. And we got more sticks in the ground. I'll have Wilma explain it. This is not Malungai. Remember, we put them all the way across. Well, with the drought, only one made it. I'll take a walk over and show you. Why not? Only one made it, just because we went 4 months with no rain. I mean, we had a hell of a time just keeping the fruit trees alive. And look, even with rain yesterday, this guy's starting to droop already because of that. But remember, we stuck a bunch of these sticks, Malungai, in the ground. One made it. So there you go. So with all the ones going across, they all died. So we pulled them out and got rid of them. This is actually like a flowering bush, and it's very nice. And I'll try to find a photo. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to be able to find one because I don't really know what the name of the flower is. Somebody call it trumpet flower. If I find a photo online, I'll stick it here. But if not, I guess we're just gonna have to wait for it all to grow. But stuck sticks in the ground, should grow and have some nice flowers on it. They're not Malungai. So the guys picked a good day. No rain in the forecast, but could get a shower. It's the rainy season. So it looks like they're going to do the electrical first, but they're going to build up a 4-inch pad just because when we get a lot of rain, it does sometimes go down in and fouls out as well. And again, you know, not much, 1/2 inch. So if we're up 4 inches, any rain will go around the actual motor. So that's number one. And then we'll beef up. It's a 2-day project, my understanding. They're going to beef up the gate, which is good. And then we'll have to repaint it again. So they said they're going to have to grind the paint off of where they're going to weld. But they're working on it. 3 guys. I'll take you guys along with us. We'll see how this all works. Wish me luck. Alright, so they're a few hours in, and they are making progress. So they have a grinder, and they're actually grinding the track. Just trying to clean it up, and then we'll paint it. The owner stopped by, dropped off, looks like some angle iron. Oh, this is the 1x bar, which is going to strengthen this area. Wherever there's this beam coming down, they'll go straight down. And look how dirty that is. It's all got to be cleaned up. And the reason for that, see the rust here? Look at that. This was just painted. So there's got to be somewhere here a hole. Probably where they welded. And we got to find that and caulk it and paint it, because it's dripping down. So it's probably up underneath here. I have to take a look, but for some reason it's dripping here. And when you shut the gate, see how the, I don't know, 4 or 5 feet over. So 4 or 5 feet over, it's just right next to this. So when it rains, it must drip down and splash. So we got to find that. It looks like there's another one here. So there's 2. So we need to find that and plug it up. But they're going to stiffen this, like I said in the previous video, with the 1x. Then we'll get that painted. And then they got some angle here that they're going to use to stiffen the bottom as well. Pretty involved. See how they're doing electrical? Let me zoom in. So they put a T. So the 2 wires, there's 4 wires here. 2 wires now continue on, and they come up this column and then electrify the 7 lights. And then they pulled the 2 wires back through, and that's what the T is for. And then they pulled the wires up here. So now the electric is on this side for the motor. Now, one thing that we talked about during their lunch break is they're going to have to mount this only like an inch or so above the concrete to make it all work with the track. So remember I said we have like a ½ inch of water here. So what we're going to do is right off of this wall here, and we have leftover hollow block. So they're going to actually build a wall, 1 hollow block high. So that's 8 inches. 1 hollow block's 8 inches. Take the 8-inch wall to connect to this and just go around this, just to divert water from the unit, and we'll render it. And then what they also suggested, and they're going to do for us, so I'm pretty happy about that, they're going to pick an area in here. I have weep holes down this wall, but there's no weep holes here. So they said, does water ever come down here and get down inside? And the answer is yes, but not a lot. I mean, those weep holes really do work, but water does come this way. So the answer is yes, and what it normally does is it falls in and then just follows through and goes out. So we're going to add, and they recommended halfway point, add another weep hole. So we either run down and get a 3-inch piece, or I had this laying around. I guess that's 1.5 inches. So we'll just do 2 side by side, 2.5 inch side by side. Go through the wall and just pitch it down. Have it be flush with the bottom concrete at the very bottom. And just, if there is any water coming this way, it at least won't go up. If you have it flush, it'll find its way out. And then if it does come this way, it can only be, you know, a 1/4 inch or so, because it'll allow the water to go out. So between adding 2 little weep holes here and then a concrete 1 high hollow block to go around, won't affect driving out, because we're way over here when we drive out, like where that pail is where the tires go. So just a little wall around it, so any water coming down will hit that and go around. So just trying to make sure that this unit doesn't get flooded. Now, it looks like it's waterproof up to here anyway. So from here to here, I'm going to call that close to 5 inches from the bottom of the unit to where the gray starts. It's about 5 inches. You can see that this key has a waterproof box. So it's waterproof to 5 inches anyway, but why have water on it? Doesn't make any sense. We'll try to divert it so it doesn't even get near it. So that's why putting the hollow block around it will stop hopefully 99% of it. Now it's going to get rained on and all that, but we're just going to do all the precautions we can. So this is a bigger job than I thought. They spent about 2 hours, 2.5 hours on this already. And they still need to reinforce the gate. And then they have to weld on the track, which is right here. I have 5 meters of it, so the gate will open 5 meters. It's pretty heavy. Looks like it's some kind of stainless. It's definitely heavy. And then it will ride on the opposite side of this motor. So what I have in my hand will be on the gate, and that will ride like that, be on top. And that has to be done real level and real straight, because if not, it'll jump or jump the gear, which is not a good thing. So obviously it needs to be installed level. So that's going to take a little bit of time, because this is not level for sure. I'm sure it goes one way or the other. So they're going to have to work on that piece by piece. So this is definitely a 2-day job. Hey Sandy, I caught you red-handed. I caught you red-handed. You snuck up and you're eating Prince's breakfast. That's okay, because it's noon and he is not even eating. He's inside taking a nap. Look, he makes a mess too. So you're welcome to it, girl. Go for it. This is taking them some time. So what they're doing is they're taking rebar, and they drove in rebar down into the ground there, and then to the concrete right here. I'll take just a little zoom out. They drove the rebar in sideways, and then now they welded it to the track that comes across. They're welding it, and they're building a box out of rebar. And then they took some angle iron and built a box to go around the actual unit, which is right here. And then you can see that's the piece that comes with the unit to get bolted down, but they created a little angle iron frame around it that fits down in it. And then they're going to have to drill. See the holes there to drill? They'll drill through that and bolt it down, and then this angle iron is going to get welded to all this rebar. And you can see that they're starting to build up the rebar. It's already 2 blocks, so it's kind of like Lincoln logs. You guys remember that, right? From the 70s and 80s. So they're building it up, and you see that yellow there, that yellow device? That's a level, and they're just making sure it's level as they're going up. And then they'll take that and weld it to that, and then once that's all set and level, then they can put the actual unit in, and it'll be secure, because there's a lot of torque there, right? I mean, it's going to be turning and opening this gate. Now this gate opens actually pretty easy. So that motor is like twice the size of the one that they installed up in Valencia. So, you know, bigger is better, I guess. So they said no problems at all. So once that's done, they'll fill this in with concrete. They got the hollow blocks down here. They're going to build a little L to go around. If they need more hollow block, I have them up at the house. He's cleaning this up. It looks like they made a little divot, I guess, to make sure that the gate stays on the track. These guys seem like they know what they're doing. And then look at this. Once they pulled the wires through, they've already smoothed it all out with concrete. So that just needs to be painted eventually. I could put a little bit of skim coat over that. I got plenty of that up at the house. So really involved, and it looks like it's going to be secure. And I guess it needs to be, because that's going to create quite a bit of torque when you turn it on for the few minutes it takes to open. I mean, what is it going to take? Maybe 20 seconds to open. So they're making progress. They are satisfied that all that rebar is now level. They painted it black. See, they painted all the rebar. And then now they're burying it in cement to create a nice firm base. So again, as long as that is level, we're good to go. And then same thing on this side. Drilling through the angle iron, which attaches to that, which that bolts to that. So it'll all be one unit. So with all that concrete and rebar, it shouldn't move because of the torque. You can see that's a good look at the wall we created. Remember, we created that wall a long time ago? Just a small retaining wall to hold back the dirt. So that's all going to be part of adding on to. And they might need some more block. I got plenty. I got about 30 block up there. They can use. Day 2, gate opener install. Weather looks okay. A little cloudy over that way. See what happens. There was no rain yesterday and it was hot. So that was good because these guys got a full day in. And now they're going to wrap up. They said it'll all be completed today. So what they did the first couple of hours is they got the actual gate opener installed. So that took them some time because they wanted it level, obviously, and then they kept testing it with the gate, making adjustments, and then they had to weld the angle iron to the rebar, and then the underneath, the bolts underneath that comes up through, that the actual opener gets installed on, that got all welded. So it's in place, and then they went through and painted it, the angle iron. Then they put the opener on top, bolted it down, and you can see there is 2 on each side, so you can make some fine adjustment if need be. What they also did was they put some 1x, remember, at each of the rails. They were going to do 1x1 tubular. So they welded that in place. And then on the opposite side where this metal is, they did 5 rivets for each reinforcement 1x1 tubular. They did 5 rivets to hold it from the opposite side. So that stiffens up the gate a little bit. They're prepping the rails. So you can see the rails themselves, and then these little, there's a bee right in my face. So this gets bolted on. It's kind of like a thick spacer. And there's 3 spacers per meter of rail, 5 meters of rail. So the gate will be able to open 5 meters. And now what they're doing is they're welding a piece of steel on top of the tubular, and they're putting a series of welds on that, and that will all get ground down, smoothed out, and painted. And then these rails will get welded to that strapping, that metal strapping, not to the tubular steel. to that metal strapping. And they already have the distance gauged where it'll ride on the gear appropriately. And we should be good to go. They did test with the remote control, making sure that it spun both ways freely, and it does. It's on a 30 amp breaker up at the house. So the actual opener is ready to go. And the remote control work. I have 7 remotes. Comes with 2, but I could buy 5 as an accessory, so I went ahead and bought it. So I got 7 remotes. So we're good to go. I also downloaded the app on my phone. Now I have to sync that device to the phone, but the app was installed. So with Wi-Fi, which we get good Wi-Fi coming from up there, down here. So it should be no issue with signal. We'll see. And I'll be able to open the gate or close the gate wherever there's Wi-Fi. So I could be, somewhere other than here. I guess anywhere in the world there's Wi-Fi. And if someone's at the gate and I need to open the gate, I can open it from my cell phone. So that's not bad. So starting to wind down. What they're doing now is they drove in some rebar right there into the ground in a couple of places, and now they're getting ready to put a bed of concrete there in the bottom, and then they're going to put some hollow block, and there's a few pieces of hollow block up at the house if they need, but they're going to build basically an L structure just to divert water from here. So if any water comes this way, it'll go around the hollow block, miss the opener, and go out under the gate. So they're going to go ahead and do that as well. So luckily we had plenty of concrete and sand here from Raising the Wall project. So they were able to just do that for us. That wasn't part of the agreement. But they said since the hollow block cement and sand is here, they would do it for no additional charge. So I thought that was nice. So I'll just give them, get them a better tip when it's said and done. But it looks pretty good. Now what we did do, and this is precaution, I turned the solar off with all this welding going on. Just didn't want to take a chance. So made a phone call to Ruben. You guys know Ruben. He walked me through the steps of how to shut down the solar appropriately. So right now we're on Noriko using our transformer, which is right there, 100%, because I'd rather use Noriko for the welding, for the ups and downs of the welding, because I think that's about 4,000 to 5,000 watts. So just didn't want to run that through the solar, so we turned the solar off. So just for extra safety precaution, don't want to affect the solar with the spikes and 5,000 watts at a time. So we took care of that. So that's where we're at, and hopefully we'll be able to test the gate opener here very soon. All right, the moment of truth. The guys did a nice job. They did a lot of extras for us, which we're very happy. Look at this wall they created to channel the water. So if there's any water from this area, we'll channel down this way. And they built this wall going around the actual unit. So everything is nice and level. It's very smooth. There's Sandy. They made many adjustments to get it right because they don't want the weight of the gate on the unit. So they made multiple adjustments. So very pleased with the work that they did. Well worth the money, and it's going to make our lives a lot easier just hitting the remote control to be able to get in or get out, as well as we can use our cell phones. I have it set up on my cell phone as well as Wilma's. So the welding was done by Versatile Ironworks. So they do all types of metalwork fabrication. I'll leave their contact information in the description box. And then the gate opener itself was done by Zaril Ambus, and I will put his Facebook link. He's an electrician as well as does gate installers, and he also does aircon install. So there's another resource in the greater Dumaguete area for you guys. So we took the plunge and they did a great job. So we're very pleased. Both guys will leave their information, their contact information in the description box. And another project completed.